Yo, I walk on, it's your boy Jennifer. You already know we reckon. In today's video, we have a guide. Not just any guide, this is a swag guide. You know what I'm saying? 10.0.5 is going to be coming pretty soon. I don't know how soon, it's just going to be coming sometime in the future. White items and gray items will be transmogable. What does that mean? Lots of fire new gear. So in this guide, I got vendors. I'm gonna be showing you how to get this old school stuff, okay? The very set she started in back in 05, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna also be showing you some of the best questing zones for gear. And then lastly, I'll be showing you some secret vendors and stuff I know around the map. There will be chapters to this, so you can go to whichever part you're the most interested in, okay? Other than that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? I upload all kinds of Warcraft, mostly PvP, because that's pretty much all I do on this dang game. And transmogging. Other than that, let's go. So starting off with the most important thing, that is the level 1 vanilla and TBC starting gear. For Alliance, you're going to want to make your way over to Lionheart Armory. This is where the cloth, leather, and mail is. Come up to these vendors here. Carla Granger, she sells all the cloth stuff. Go to the very back and boom. As you can see, original TBC Draenei robes, Warlock human robe, human mage, Night Elf Priest, Human Priest. It's got everything, the entire set. Leather from Lara Moore. You're gonna go all the way to the back. Novice robe. Okay, you got your druid stuff. Over here we got the foot pad, you know, that's your rogue stuff, including whatever else they sell, which we'll get to later in the video, because that's the least important. And then right here we have Aldrich Moore. He sells primal, you know, all the other stuff. Draenei, human, all of it. Okay, now for the plate. The next one, you're gonna make your way over to the Dwarven district, the outskirts, and you're gonna want to get to Potts Plates. Okay, you're gonna hop up in here and you're gonna talk to this lady here, Allison Potts. Zoom all the way to the end and boom, there you go. Original Draenei pieces, original Night Elf pieces, and the human pieces. That including the boots too, of course. There you go. That is the Alliance starter gear. Now on to Horty. Alright, so for Horty, the first place you're gonna pull up is to the classic Naros's Armory. You can talk to Sana and Naros himself. Sana gives the mail, okay, including whatever cool gear she sells. We'll get to that later in the video. Boom, you got the Blood Elf pieces, you got the original Hunter pieces. Primal, that's your shaman stuff, kilts, all that. And Naros, because he's the plate guy, he has all the original warrior pieces, paladin pieces for the Blood Elf, warrior pieces for the Blood Elf now too. Yeah, he has everything. They all have everything. And now for the leather and cloth. The cloth, you're gonna pull up to Magar's Cloth Goods. Okay, you're gonna talk to one of these guys. Who? I think it's this guy. Yeah, here we go. Okay, boom. Original troll robes. You got your undead, your blood elf, more blood elf, more undead. You know what I'm saying? Everything is in here. That freaking orc robe, man. I remember that orc robe. Oh, that is it for the cloth. And now the leather is literally right next door. This is, what the fuck was that? Is that a Tauren? Oh shoot, I forgot Taurens could be rogues now. Kodo hide leather workers. You're gonna talk to Morgum here, right outside. Okay, and boom, he has all the original leather stuff, the kilts, everything, Blood Elf pieces, the rogue pieces, that dang chest piece. I've always loved that chest piece. Now I'm actually able to mesh that with something. Everything. Here you go. that is it for the old school class pieces. Now, on to the second most important, quest zones. Quest zone transmogs are amongst some of the best. Alright, starting off with the human zone. This is Northshire to Elwyn Forest, so pretty much all of Elwyn Forest. Level 1 to 10 zone. In terms of how easy these quests are, these quests have been around forever. If you don't have an easy time doing these human quests, something, I don't know, maybe Warcraft ain't the game for you. So in terms of easiness, doing these quests, I'm gonna give it a nice healthy 8 out of 10. Straight through them. In terms of how all the white item gear you get from the human zones, it's a mix of Cataclysm stuff and vanilla stuff. I'm gonna give it a nice healthy 7 out of 10. Not the best looking stuff, but definitely not the worst looking stuff. Okay? Keep in mind that Goldshire or Elwyn Forest as a whole has an extremely healthy rare spawn system. If you wish to run these rare spawns, the most two important rare spawns, or the most two important for some of the best items, would be Mother Fang and the Thief Lady. Okay, forgot her name. And then your others will be Riptide. All the original vanilla rare spawns drop original vanilla greens and whites. Keep that in mind. Thus, why Goldshire gets a nice healthy 7 out of 10. Next up, we have the Dwarven Zones. Now here, in the Dwarven Zones, as a whole, the gear was updated to Cataclysm style stuff. Just like Goldshire, you're going to be doing the whole of the zone, level 1 to 10. Overall gear rating, I'm going to have to give it a nice healthy 6.5 out of 10. Just barely behind the humans, because they have almost identical items. Although there is one notable item that the Dwarven have, and that is that beautiful gold hammer. That you can still get from Karanos. I love that hammer, and I will get that hammer. And one of my characters will have 2 gold hammers, and they will bash heads with those gold hammers. In terms of quest and how easy the Dwarven Zone is, pretty light work. I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. A little biased because I've never done the Dwarven quest, so I have no clue how you do them. But I'm sure they're extremely easy, just like the human quest. So actually, I'm gonna up it to a 7.5. There is no rare spawn gold mine like there is in Goldshire. For the Night Elf Zone, it has been mostly untouched. Most of the gear you're going to be getting from here is original vanilla stuff. Here's the issue with the Night Elf Zones. Is some people, I feel like I sound like I'm reading from a dang script. Some people may or may not like the Night Elf stuff, as it's very old school and has a earthy, you know, freaking Night Elf, man. It has a very Night Elf theme to it. I personally like this stuff. I don't mind it. I've been playing the game forever, so for me, I'm used to it. But for the general census, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. Some people might like this stuff, some people might not. There is no healthy rare spawn route here in the Night Elf Zone. In terms of quest, there is a lot of running you're gonna have to do in comparison due to this questing system here being mostly untouched. Therefore, I'm going to give the overall questing venture a 6 out of 10. It kind of sucks. I'll be honest. As someone with a lot of Night Elves, very little of them have leveled here in Teldrassil. But the good thing is, it's all in one big tree, unlike the rest of the lands. Because of y'all in this dang video, I had to log into a gnome for the first time in 16 years. You know how that makes me feel? Disgusted. Anyways, the gnome zone has been changed since the original time, so quest gear and items are a bit different, Cataclysm brung some pretty notable items to the Gnoming questline, therefore giving the Gnoming questline and the rest of the Dwarven zone a pretty high rating of 7 out of 10. There's a really cool and amazing two-handed sword that comes out of this. And overall, the questing experience really ain't that bad. It's not as free as the rest of the zones. It's pretty straightforward. So for overall questing, I'm gonna have to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Not quite as nostalgic as the other zones, but much more straightforward. We have the Draenei starter land. This is from 1 to 10. Here's the catch. For overall Transmog gear gains in terms of greens and majority white items, I'm gonna have to give the Draenei land the highest score thus far at 10 out of 10. Some of the best stuff comes out of this place. Hands down. This is coming from a man with way too many Draenei characters. I know my Draenei quest. Here's the issue. The quest suck. This land, massive. Okay? This will be the first time we bring up the UI in the map. Okay? This is Ammon Vale. Pretty freaking big, right? Yeah. Check this out, okay? Lao. You're gonna be moving all around this. And then, if you want the extra rewards, you have to make your way out to Blood Watch, which is just as big. Because there's a lot of nice stuff here in Blood Watch. The Draenei is the first one. We're going to be going outside of the level 1 to 10 zone. Because Blood Watch has equally as amazing and unique gear. 10 out of 10 for overall gear gains. 4 out of 10. Because this land is massive and the quests are 1,000,000 miles apart. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot. There's a whole lot. Good luck. If you never did Draenei quest before, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer 4 out of 10 for these quests. Next up, we have the Wargen questing zone, Gilneas. Gilneas by far offers the best questing experience in my opinion due to the zone being scripted. Much like the gnomes, you have to do very specific things in order to move on, which makes the questing very straightforward. For that, I'm gonna have to give the Gilneas questing zone the highest score thus far at a 9 out of 10. For overall gear gains, the gear you get out of the Gilneas questing zone is a mix of very unique old world British style gear for the Gilneans and a couple of vanilla-esque, Cataclysm-esque pieces, thus giving you a nice overall 8 out of 10. This is a zone you absolutely need to get into. One of the most unique and notable items is the Gilnean top hat, giving this place, like I said, a healthy 9 out of 10. And plus, it's just gorgeous. I freaking love the way this place looks, okay? I freaking love the way this place looks. Next questing zone. Unfortunately, if you don't like pandas, much like me, you don't have a choice. The Panda Land is another scripted zone where you have to do specific things to move forward, which makes it a very straightforward questing zone, putting the rating right there next to Gilnean at a healthy, what was Gilnean? 7.5. What's Gilnean? 8? I don't freaking remember. Let's give this an 8. It's an 8, alright? It's a very straightforward questing zone. Problem is, you gotta play this. But that's all good because it gives you some of the best Transmog items, Panda gear. I'm gonna put this overall zone for all the gear it has to offer at a nice healthy 8.5, right behind Gilnean. It's great. Next up, we have the Orc Starter Zone. Now, much like the Alliance Starter Zone, it has gone through slight changes from vanilla to Cataclysm, thus rewarding you with original vanilla pieces as well as original Cataclysm pieces. Overall, due to the age of Durotar, I'm sure for Horde, most of these quests are pretty easy to do, thus giving it around the same rating as Elwynn Forest. A straightforward zone that's been around for a long time, so most people know how to quest. Overall, making it a pretty easy questing and pretty some fair pieces, some fair Transmog pieces, very unique Horde pieces as well. Now, for the undead, they've gone through a slight revamp with the whole of the undead zone, that being Tirisfal, so you get a healthy portion of original vanilla items, some unique items, and some Cataclysm items. The thing that's beautiful about Tirisfal here, much like Elwynn Forest, it has a very healthy rare spawn route, which means there's other old school unique rare items that you can't get anywhere else other than Tirisfal and Elwynn Forest. For its overall questing, I would say it's pretty easy. The zone is kind of big, so I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's not too bad, but it's not the worst. For overall Transmog gains, I'm gonna also give it a 6.5 out of 10. It isn't the best, but it isn't the worst. For the Tauren zone, in terms of questing, I feel that the common folk, including myself, might not enjoy the land too much. The quests are far spread apart, the zone is fairly large, and there's not that much popping in terms of activity. I'm gonna give the overall questing experience a 5.5 out of 10. With Azuremist Island, it's definitely not the worst. In terms of gear, I don't know too much about the Tauren zone, but if I had to remember, there wasn't too much notable out of this area. That being said, I'm gonna give the overall Transmog factor a 6 out of 10. Though the nostalgia factor is very high. It reminds me of the days I first played a Tauren back in 05 when I was 9 years old. Nostalgia, the memories, the simple times. Next up, we have the Troll starter zone. Much like the gnomes, the trolls lead on into the orc zones, which means you get some of the orc gear, but the prerequisite gear that the trolls get from their new starter zone is not bad. And what the fuck? And because it's scripted, because it's a scripted zone, it's pretty straightforward, and there's some decent loot that comes out of this. In terms of questing, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. It's very straightforward, but it might be new to some of you. In terms of gear gains, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Not the best, but it's not the worst. Some pretty cool little items that come out of the Trolls' new starter zone. Now starting with the Blood Elf zone, I know you're probably wondering, where's the clothes? The Blood Elf's getup is incredible. I mean, look at the way I tied her together. Perfect. Anyways, the Blood Elf zone, just like the Draenei zone, you're going to be venturing out to the higher part. You're not just going to be doing the 5 to 10, the 1 to 10. This time, you're going to be making your way out to Ghostlands. Why? Because Ghostlands, much like Bloodwatch, has an absolutely immaculate amount of incredible and unique looking gear. In terms of questing, the Blood Elf quests are amongst some of the easiest, but you will be running miles, just like the Draenei zone. Okay, you see her face? Cause she knows what it is. You're gonna be running a long time, pal. You better have the chauffeur, cause if you don't, there's a lot of running you're gonna be doing. So overall, the questing, I'm gonna have to give it, what did I give the Draenei lands? A 4 out of 10? I'm gonna have to give this a 5 out of 10. Way more pleasant, just as much running. In terms of overall Transmog, including gray items. I didn't say gray items for the rest of the zones, because the gray items for the rest of the zones aren't as cool. The gray items for this zone, beautiful. The shoddy mail. People used to spend people still spend top dollar for that crap, and it's gonna go through the roof. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that, pal. Alright? In terms of the overall questing, 5 out of 10. In terms of the Transmog game, right there with Azure Watch at a 10 out of 10. Crazy. In terms of goblins, I never want to have to customize another one again. In terms of the goblin zone, their quests are very straightforward and pretty fun, considering you get to drive around with a freaking rat rod the whole time. You know what I'm saying? In terms of item games, it's very Cataclysm, which is a good and bad thing. Some are nice, some are not that nice. Therefore, I'm going to give the Goblins Transmog for their zone a 6 out of 10. Not that bad, but it's not that good, but it's not the worst. In terms of quest, very straightforward, and you get to drive around in a rat rod the whole time. And just because of the rat rod, even if the quests suck or don't, because they definitely do suck, but because of the rat rod, it makes it good at a 10 out of 10. Realistically, it's like a 5 out of 10. But because the rat rod, we're going to give it a 10 out of 10. Next zone up, we have the Exile's Reach. This was a new zone that was brought to us in Shadowland? This place is chock full of transmogs. There's treasure chests, there's tons of rare spawns, there's a whole entire quest sequence that's straightforward. Doesn't take very long. Once you get to level 10, tons of transmogs you can get out of this place. Now remember folks, when doing quest, it doesn't matter what item you take, you get all of the said transmog items. So if there's a quest that has a chest piece, a belt, legs, and a shoulder, and you choose the shoulders, you'll still get the other 3 as transmog. That being said, this is the last of the starter zones. Let's get to some of the vendors I know that sell immaculate white item gear. Now lastly, we have vendors, okay? Now I'm not going to be showing you the general city vendors because if you look around us, we are completely surrounded by general store vendors every freaking where. So I can't do that because then I would have to do it for Orgrimmar, Thunder, but it would be way too long. So I'm going to be showing you guys just the specialty vendors. Trust me, these vendors are every freaking where. They're not hard to find. Any city you go to, there are those same vendors selling the same stuff. So for Horde players, once again, you're going to be coming up to Sunstrider Isle. That is the Blood Elf starter zone. Okay, you're going to be coming to this little hut right here. This vendor right here, she sells that real nice leather Blood Elf stuff. You're looking for sun cured. This is what you want. You could grab the cloth stuff if you want. It's kind of ugly, but it is there. It is transmog nonetheless. It is good casual stuff though. May not be the best looking casual stuff, but it's there. And for the male, that is this right here. Unfortunately, there is no plate, but some of this stuff will be multi-character available any dang ways if I'm not mistaken, so it should be all good. And this lady right here sells one-of-a-kind unique weapons. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the few vendors in the game when they say I sell one-of-a-kind items, they actually mean they sell one-of-a-kind items. Alright, so for this, you're going to be coming over to the Temple of Tal Amat. You're going to be talking to this lady right here, Talar. You got boom, okay, bam, cool little sword. I always love those swords, they're so simple, so clean. Got this joint right here, of course, Maghar. Let's go to the Horde. The Horde, you're going to be coming right across the way, okay, Temple is right there, Falcon Watch is right there, and it's this guy right here. He sells a little extra though, you know what I'm saying, he sells a little extra. I don't think the Draenei vendor sells this thing. There you go, man. One of a kind. Same things. Some little extras, Alright, the next spot is here in Netherstorm. Okay, you're gonna pull up to the Storm Spire. And this guy right here is the guy you want to talk to. Okay, I remember this man right here. He sells some heat. Some absolute heat. We got the Ethereum Spear. The Phase Spear. You got some old school claws. Can't get the ones from Zul Grub, so may as well get these if you ain't got the ones from Zul Grub back in the day, right? Pulse dagger. This thing right here, the Thorium Phase Blade. This pulse dagger used to be crazy in the freaking TBC beta. That thing, if mages running around getting outshanked by a mage, could you imagine? If you just want, pull up to this guy right here, and he has a bunch of pets. Why not, you know? Alright, so all the folks who have done the Hive Mind quest, that's that hideous brain squid mount, come over to Grifta, if you didn't know this, okay? He will sell you some little monocles, okay? That's the little pictures you see popping up on the screen now. If you have not done them, then they will not be there, okay? So if you haven't done the Hive Mind quest, you take the time to do that, you know what I'm saying? Not only do you get a mount, but you get 3 cool little colored monocles. Alright, so for this one, since I didn't do the Hive Mind stuff, this one I actually had to look up myself. But there will be a Murloc. If you've done the Hive Mind, there'll be a Murloc who'll be chilling in this tower. You fly up on in here and he will sell the red monocle. Yeah, I had to look this one up because I'm like, I've never done the Hive Mind stuff, so I don't know nothing about these monocles. I actually just found these, trying to remember everything else. Alright, this next vendor for Alliance, you're going to want to come to Telrador here in Zangarmarsh. Talk to this lady right here. She got a whole bunch of this stuff. Okay. Cool looking chest piece. The gloves, you can get that through Orgrimmar. You get that through Orgrimmar, so you don't have to worry about those pieces too much. If you have an Alliance player, I would advise picking this stuff up on an Alliance player because for some odd reason, these are the 4 pieces you want: chest, wrist, belt, shield. But for some odd reason, Horde either have to go all the way to Fjord or get their rep up with the Maghar in the Grand. So I'm gonna show you the spot in Fjord if you don't want to waste time getting your rep up. Or if you Alright, so this is where you have to come to if you unfortunately do not have any Maghar rep. You gotta come all the way out to Vengeance Landing here in Hotling Fjord. You can talk to this lady right here. She got this stuff for some odd reason. I really don't know why she has this stuff, because this is Wrath Lynch King. But I mean, I guess if you were for whatever reason lacking gear, here she was. This is the man you gotta talk to. You gotta do these quests in the area and whatnot, get the reputation up with these peoples so you can actually talk with them. If you have that rep, then you're good to go. All you gotta do is hop on over and go to the Grand. If you don't, actually, no, I guess it's not that bad, because you really could just take the portal to Old Delaran. Boom. But then again, Stratholme is closer because it's literally right there. You literally fly up. Boom. So, yeah. And while you're out here in Fjord, okay, make sure you go ahead and come over to New Egeman. Talk to this guy right here. He's got a couple of weapons. Okay, not that does not exist in the real game. I guess in a way, Horde get their get. Okay, they get their loot, some extra loot. So coming down here to Tanakale Village, there is a specialty Horde only vendor here, okay, and that is this lady right here, Tiwa Chillmane. Okay, she sells the Snowhide set, and if you see him on the auction house, there is another set of gear that looks just like this, but it has shoulders paired, but certain pieces are a little different. So boom, Horde do get a little extra more than Alliance. Right, for this next spot, you're going to want to be pulling up to Brunhildalar Village. I don't know what the fuck. Okay, this vendor in the past, she was not accessible unless you had did some specific quest and crap for her, but now she's accessible to anybody. Sells a nice selection of greens that barely anyone even knows about. Quite frankly, the only reason I even know about this character is because back in MOP, I was a freaking mass market vendor. I used to sell everything, so I was finding as many white items, green items as I could possibly sell, and then stumbled upon this lady in her quite amazing selection of weapons. Alright, so one of the reasons you're going to be here in Old Hillsbrad Foothills, make sure you're in Heroic. For this guy, you don't have to have Heroic, but he's here. Now, one thing a lot of people did not know is this guy has sold a lot of the old stuff for a little bit now. But as you can see, he also sells some of the undershirts that existed in the past as well. So, come here and grab some of these. But it seems to be only the human stuff. He is human after all, so I don't know why he would have anybody else's stuff, but he got a lot. So, yeah, if you're ever passing by, you're coming here for these shirts. Also, he has some of the dwarf mixed stuff, the paladin stuff. Still being in the Tenaris area, frickin', what is this place called? Caverns of Time. You're gonna come over to the Culling of Stratholme. You're gonna come to Sophie Aaron. He sells some special Stratholme banquet, you know what I'm saying? Did I just say banquet? I thought that's a frickin' feast. A Stratholme lily. So like I said earlier, folks, make sure you're running in heroic mode, okay? This is why. You're gonna come up to this man, Don Carleone. Hey man, don't just swing on my cat like that, dog. You gotta kill him. Kill him. Get a hat. Look at that. Oh, it's a toy now? Oh. Whoops. I mean, I guess it kind of helps. Dang, I didn't know it was a toy. Oh, I'm dumb. I got the original one. The original one, you can't get that anymore. I thought they turned it. There was a blue item version, but they turned it into a toy. Govera had the blue. Jadam had the original white item one. Oh shoot, my bad, folks. I genuinely did not know. I completely forgot. I mean, it's still a cool toy to have, though. Our next specialty vendor is right here on our very mount, Akmud of Argus. This man right here sells a Draenei robe for 10 silvers. A very nice robe. Look at that thing. It's clean. It's clean. Can't go wrong with that robe. Alright, so here in Moonglade, okay, we have Greenia Sunshadow. Now, I've come to this lady many times throughout the years for specific reasons. Boom, bam, and bop. You know what I'm saying? You can't get them anywhere else. Now, these three you can get in other places, but it is the convenience too that you can grab these three normal ones at the same time. These three special ones. I don't know how legit these prices are though. Remember, I'm on my private server, so this server is mad janky. For this one, you're gonna go ahead and make yourself a Death Knight. You can come up to this man right here, and he sells a full list of bone-plated gear. Now, while not all of this stuff may be unique, it does have unique names or unique models. Okay, so they're not all, you know, the same as something else. Couple of specialty, or not couple, but a specialty vendor here in Orgrimmar. It's Kiro here. Okay, she sells some pretty unique, what the heck are these called? Harnesses. Almost forgot for a second there. Okay, so go ahead, check her out. You know what I'm saying? Spend big cash, especially these two purple ones. So pretty. So pretty. Alright, so I just remembered one. Deep Home. I was sitting here, nearly done. I'm like, there was a spot that used to sell Cataclysm white item gear, and I found it. Rocky Cliffage. Okay, he's right here at the edge of this spot, man. Right outside of freaking Temple of Earth. Boom. Talk to him. Look at all this. I don't know why I'm hitting it. This is all white items, so it's all gonna show up. Look at all this, man. Now, of course, these aren't 100% unique, but it's the simple fact that these are here. And I remember this. A lot of two-handers. Tons of two. All this is two-handers. I just realized that. Come on, man. I forgot about this dude. It's been forever. Number one, I forgot about Deep Home. This place is pretty as fuck. I'm gonna have to come back and take some pictures of this dang place. It is nice here. Dang.
Legendary. Legendary. legendary.